Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Who's Taking Watch? The Dragon's Might. My name is Brad, and I will be your DM for this arc set in the world of Robert Jordan's The Wheel of Time. Who do I got with me?
You have Zach with you, and I'll be playing Dirk today.
Pronounce that K real nicely.
I'm Victor, and I'll be playing Lior.
I am Michelle, and I'll be playing Tao.
And I'm Marty, and I'll be playing Beige.
Amazing.
Beige?
Beige.
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 Yeah.
Plage.
That's right. Snow White's sister.
Secret drop over here in the intro. Real name? Beige. Welcome back if you've been watching before, and if you're just joining us, welcome aboard. This is Who's Taking Watch is a anthology D&D actual play show where we take some of our favorite worlds of fiction and drop a little bit of a non-canonical 5e adventuring party in there and tell some Dungeons and Dragons stories. As we get closer to familiar places and events and peoples in the world of the Wheel of Time, just a reminder that this is similar to the TV show. Imagine it as another turning of the wheel. This is an imagined situation of unexplored area of the books, which was the war in Ghealdan between Logain and the country itself.
I like how you pronounce that.
I know you. It's poison. Ghealdan. Oh my God, I've been infected. If you're just joining us, you can watch our previous episodes in our YouTube channel, which you can find a link to below here. And our next session will be up next Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with podcast format shortly following that. And well, you guys didn't level up, so I think that's about it. And we can go ahead and turn the page and enter the next chapter of Who's Taking Watch? The Dragon's Might. So, last time we left off, this group, I'm confident saying group again, actually, after last session, I'm confident saying group, was dealing with the fallout of an all-out knockdown, drag-out fight with a bear and two spooky guys made out of rocks, where a sense of evil was felt among you, not emanating from any of you, but deep within yourselves. You managed to make a tenuous sort of peace or accommodation for the revelations about some of your abilities that had been uncovered the night before, and started walking north again, fearing the army that lay behind you, this legion of white cloaks. You made your way north, seeing way far back in the distance that there was a crowd of birds above a camp, signifying that you had a bit of ground that you could cover without getting caught up. At the end of the day, you made it to the village of Barrowdwyn, a village that you thought would be your main stop on the way north from Samara to Jehannah. However, finding the town completely empty, void of people, a strange letter was left on the inn of the town, which Paige seemed to understand, and Paige seemed to think that was directed at her somehow? It was hard to explain. Before you could spend too much time, Dirk got a sneaking suspicion that something evil was lurking. and seeing a raven that had 2 keen eyes for any normal bird to have, you were able to quickly strike it down with a dart, Tal. Making your way northward again, and in more of a panic at being followed by maybe multiple sources, you rode and didn't ride because you don't have horses. Paige rode in Lior's arms a bit. Saved it. But you made your way northward and had uneasy nights of sleep with foul dreams, influenced seemingly not coming from your own minds, and close encounters with the horned scouts of the White Cloaks. You eventually did make your way to greener pastures, where you encountered a group of armed men, and after your initial panic realized that these were some of the Legion of the Wall, this force that Tal has been going to try and join to aid in the fight for her home country of Ghealdan. Being questioned by their lieutenant, you quickly found out that 2 of their rank were 2 of the many number, like Abraham style, count these stars and this is how many numbers Tal has, brothers, Otto and Cyrus, twins. They were able to verify that you guys were cool, and send you on your way to the capital, where it seemed that maybe the exterior stonework, or the stonework that you had been contracted for, Lior, there might be a more pressing need for you somewhere else. Nevertheless, cresting the hill, you guys all see as in the distance, maybe about an hour's walk away, with more people now visible on the roads coming in from different connecting areas to this city, this towering metropolis. You see a walled-in city with 2 small spires in the middle and 1 giant spire marking. Yeah, that's the twist. That's the twist. 1 giant spire, the 3 of which mark the imposing Jada Palace inside. What would you like to do as you approach the city?
Lior, for not the first time, but he's so much more at ease now that he can actually see his destination. The hood is down. He doesn't feel like he needs to hide anymore, even though he does see that there's people on the road as well.
Yeah.
And it's just breathing easier, knowing that they'll soon be there and that all of this craziness is behind them.
Yeah, and you just had an interaction with people who didn't seem alarmed at all to see an Ogier, for maybe the first time on your travels thus far. And so I think Lior's got
A skip in his step,
and maybe a bit more of that, like, wide-eyed, like, curious, like, wonderment that maybe you all first saw the first time that you met Lior at the inn in Samara.
I mean, I've only ever studied the blueprints. I haven't seen the capital yet. This is my first time here.
It is quite exciting.
Doesn't it look majestic?
Quite majestic. And you say you did all this? Not you, Lior, but, the Ogier. This was their gift.
Him and his collective now.
That's impressive.
Heard?
A steading.
A steading.
Well, that's the place.
You have come such a long way.
It's a word you say a lot.
I mean, that's not an insult. I'll take it, yes.
That's kind of like saying a group of people is called a home.
You said you were called a village.
If you want to
Can't I be aesthetic?
It's a village of people.
I'm going to the capital. I'm done with this.
Let him have it.
As Lior starts treading ahead away from this debate about the semantics of what it means to be a group of Ogier.
I will turn to the next 2 and say, well, it was lovely, truly a pleasure traveling with you both. I guess we'll see each other at the markets, perhaps, right?
At that, like, Tal was kind of walking forward, and like every like few meters would go like, best soldier ever. But at that, Tal kind of like slows and stops and looks at you guys and is like, oh. for the last couple of days at least, we've been chased by evil. And it's tried to split us. It separate us. I don't know if separating is such a good idea. For now. I still want to join the army, but if
I don't
evil...
want to join the army.
No, I know. But if
We'll talk about that.
But if evil wants us apart, why would we?
I get what you're saying, Tal, but we can't all join the army.
I guess what I'm trying to say is for a few days at least, I can put off going to see Felix.
I'll share a secret. I was gonna follow them anyway. So, I mean, like, yeah, we could stick together. Do you crazy? The Dark One's watching one of us. Like, I can't let these two go on their own.
Well, I think
Leo?
Not watching me.
the Dark One is trying to separate us.
I don't know about all that, but at least watching.
Don't look at me like that.
A bird flies by and just looks at you.
I throw a dart at it.
Roll an attack.
My savior.
Ooh, natural 19.
Okay.
The first thing you do in the city is you pluck a bird out of the sky.
The pigeon that was flying by just falls to the ground really fast.
Dark friend? No.
Probably if she killed it. He killed it.
You'll get there one day.
Too many secrets, Dirk. It's all right.
To be clear, when we get to the city,
He's a boy.
he's a boy.
He's a boy.
She is a girl.
She is a girl.
Can I make it any more obvious?
That's only in the past tense.
That's true. That's true. That's true.
All right. I didn't want to slow you down. I know you have many things you want to accomplish, but
I am one small drop in the vast, vast ocean. If I have to put off what I want for a few days to figure out what's going on with this, makes sense, right?
I think we're stuck with them for a couple more nights.
Well, I did promise Tal a book, so.
All right. Well, do you have a place in mind where you plan on staying, or should we be off finding an inn, perhaps?
I mean, I believe normally the Ogier are housed as guests when they come to do their work. So, I do not know if that includes, plus threes, but
Of course you'd ensure that it does.
Okay, that was very eager. When we get to the city, you're a mute. But no, I will try. I will try, Dirk. I've never met Lady Parisia Alorin, but the Ogier are usually welcome guests, so I can imagine that they would be happy and generous to house us, as well as our friends.
Who is Lady Parisha Alurin?
She's one of the members of the High Council. She's the one who normally contacts the steading when work needs to be done. She sent for my my teacher, but he wasn't feeling it, so
All right.
essentially.
Very nice. Okay.
Wait. I thought this was your job.
Well, I mean, it is my job. He gave it to me. It's my job.
Okay, sure.
Hey, Dirk, can you roll an insight check for me, real quick?
I believe in you. I believe.
Wow.
21.
Roll what you gotta roll.
What am I rolling?
You're
You know in your heart.
deception.
I mean.
You could be persuading me that you're telling me the truth.
Oh, I think well, I mean, it's my job because I was the first one to leave.
Wait. Do they Do they know specifically that you're coming?
They know they sent for an Ogier stonemason, of which I am.
But they think they're getting, like, the tip of the top creme de la creme of Ogiers. Not to say you're not. My God, you're a creature.
They went for the most well-known stonemason. It takes us a long time to send a letter back. So I'll be honest, they probably haven't even heard from Brom. So I think we're all in the clear, really.
I love your positivity, Leo. This is great. I also love not being the one in the hot seat. Let's, shall we go inquire with this lady?
I feel like everyone's looking at me all of a sudden, and it's a lot of pressure.
You do also notice that there are a couple people on the road by you guys at this point, and everyone kind of is looking at you.
Are they expecting, his name was Brom?
Brom, yes.
Brom. They're expecting Brom?
I mean, they sent for Brom.
They're
Are
not
they
expecting anyone.
expecting Brom? They might be expecting Brom. Will they accept his replacement? Probably.
And, well, I mean, I imagine if they sent for Brom and Brom sent you, then you would have some sort of letter from Brom saying, hey, here's my student, sending in his...
Brom didn't send him.
I should have thought of that.
You're all being quite negative. I really don't think
I,
it's that
I think this is
complicated.
a wonderful situation.
Brom didn't send... I thought you just said Brom sent you.
Does he even know you're gone?
I mean, now he knows I'm gone. I haven't been in the Sedenti for like 2 months. But... Look, everyone's asking a lot of questions.
Isn't it miserable? It's quite uncomfortable.
Let's go back to bickering. I like that better.
I love when people ask me questions. Just saying.
It's like she turns it on us. It's like, you're supposed to enjoy this. What's the matter with you? I think we should start by going to inquire. The only reason, I'm curious is because I just don't want you to get into any kerfuffles, with the townsfolk. I just would like to be there to help you represent yourself. I'm not sure what these freeloaders so lovingly want to do with our appearance there, but how about this? I have an idea.
Who's a freeloader?
I was just kidding. I was just making a little reference. Instead of a +1, it's now a +3. Do you think it would be a good idea to perhaps check out the inns, keep an ear, see if there's any, put an ear to the town, see if there's any news about the White Cloaks, about anything happening with the war, and we can inquire, and see if we can find housing for all 4 of us tonight.
I don't know about... This is a weird thought. I don't know about stonemasons, because I haven't met master stonemasons before, I guess, but I know that the smith from my village, the blacksmith, whenever he would make something, he had a little symbol that he would kind of burn into it to show that it was his work. Does Brom have a symbol like that?
Does Brom have a symbol like that? I would presume.
There might be little things that are like little jokes just between Ogier, but I would imagine that the Ogier stonemason's signature is how good of a job you do. It's generally speaking, like nobody rivals it. It's the reason that all the major cities and some that have maybe aspirations of being major cities like Jehannah contract Ogier, because simply put, if you want the best product, you gotta go to the steading.
So, it's really the quality of the craft.
I was just gonna say I'm pretty nifty with a knife and some wood. If he had a symbol in place of the letter he didn't write.
Look, I'm not good at lying. That's not going to help me. Everyone just be cool. Be cool, everyone.
Don't even have
Don't
to
blow my
lie.
cover.
You just say I'm Brom's student and give them the symbol of Brom, and you let them think whatever.
My hand would be so sweaty. You have no idea.
I think we're trying to meddle in Ogier affairs. Let's see how Leo handles himself. I think you're going to do fine. I don't think all of these questions.
I thought I was going to do fine too before we talked about it.
At this point, you guys have kind of shuffled into a bit of a line now of people who are waiting to enter the city, and some people do look at Leor and give maybe a bit of a like De Niro face, you know, and turn back around. Others like do a, and just the whole way into the town, they're just looking backward. But you see that guards have already looked ahead and seen, and one goes like, and then calmly looks to his co-worker and sort of sends him back, and they appear with someone who looks a bit more in charge maybe for the time that you guys get up to your place in the line, which is about 20 feet away from the gates themselves. They stop you like the second car in line at the US border. You have to stay a little bit further back, and they stop you, and this supervisor says, "Greetings, friend Ogier. Glory to the builders. We weren't expecting any of you. What brings you so far from the steading?"
Oh, well, we received a work request from Lady Aloran.
Someone runs back into a room. Let me just verify that. And someone comes out with what looks like a really old Post-it note and goes, "I see here that there is a message post-dated from 8 months ago, before the start of the war?"
I know, I made pretty good time.
Yes, you've made wonderful time. And you got the three of you can all see like a look to be like an attempt at like, oh my god, like get it together, don't show that that's crazy. I know that the different customs, I have to be sensitive, but
If she makes any eye contact, I would say,
excellent time. Do you have notice from her, Lady Aloran?
Do we have the notice?
You do have a letter with you.
I do have the letter, yes. I took
the
one thing at least.
All right, may I please?
No. Yes, of course. Here you go.
Absolutely. And you hand the letter, which says at the top in large cursive script, "Dear Brahm, I was hoping that you might be able to render some service. You see, some of the walls of the Jehannah Palace have grown a little drab, and we could use the fine touch of your gentle, nimble hands. I hope all is well in Shangloon. Please do respond as to when you think it is that you will be arriving in haste. Thank you. Yours, Lady Parisha Aloran, Crown High Council of Jehannah." And he goes, "Yeah, that looks real. Those are the words that are on here." And he goes, "Right, well, you and your companions may find your way to the palace. I'm sure they will speak to you. Your plans may change."
So I've come to understand something about fortifications or something of the sort.
Right, yes. And you guys have seen as you've been walking up that these walls are like huge. They're like 20 feet tall. By the entrance, and going further up, like steps leading up as maybe there's a bit more of a hilly terrain towards the back half of the city. But you notice that there are sections of the walls where it looks like they're like charred, where it looks like there's just rubble. You see a section where it looks like there's just a bunch of junk piled up, but as you walk a couple steps further, you could glimpse a little bit of light through it. It looks like there are like holes in the exterior walls in some places. Few and far between, but that you imagine would be a problem for a city in war. Yeah. Yes, the needs may have changed, but I'm sure even a consultation with a master craftsman like yourself would be very appreciated.
Of course.
And please, no trouble. Not that I would presume anything of companions of yourself, friend Ogier, but no trouble in the city. There's enough at the time to deal with.
Certainly, my friends will be on their best behavior.
I see you looked at that guy.
Do we need to worry about him?
And they wave you through as you enter like just a big bustling city. There's a lot going on here. There is a lot to look at, and the first thing that strikes you is the sheer color of this first section of the city. Buildings that are painted in colors that you would never imagine a house to be in your village, Tal. Just the combination of things is driving you and your sensibilities for like order in architecture a little bit wild, but it's exciting. It's exciting and such a diversion from the norm. Burgundy painted houses, red tiled roofs, blue doors with yellow trim on them, just, you know, the full Swedish flag. Just a really bright situation. And it looks like upon entry, it's a lot of smaller homes that are really piled together. I'll ask all of you guys actually to make a perception check for me.
Would I be also able to listen to if anyone says the word Ghealdan, how they pronounce it? Is it Ghealdan or is it Ghealdan?
The soldier says, "Welcome to Jehannah, capital of Ghealdan."
Ghealdan. Got it.
22.
21.
Ooh.
Trace.
Ooh.
13.
13. Okay.
I'm just going Ghealdan. Ghealdan.
You do the thing where like you say it so many times that it stops sounding like a word.
Ghealdan.
Yeah, Steely Dan. With a 13, I think the thing that you notice is that you've spent a long time kind of on the outskirts of civilization by choice. And this is the first time in years that you have willingly entered a city. And the first thing that hits you is a flood of nostalgia and a bit of wonder, because this is a more bright and vibrant looking atmosphere than your home, even if it is a bit of a smaller city. But I think secondary to that is just the amount of eyes that are here and the amount of people. It looks like most of them are walking around with their heads down, maybe a little bit of a bow. The occasional person who's dressed more fancily, like some sort of a colorful bard, looking at Leor and going, "Glory to the builders," before prancing off. But I think the sense that you get, Dirk, is just there are a lot of people here. There's a lot.
I think
of
even
eyes.
before when I was in line, I would have like popped up the hood and just
For
been
sure.
like, yeah. As soon as we walked in, just like head down. I'm following.
Yeah. With a 21 and a 22, you guys notice that this is like a residential area. There are homes. There looks like there are small shared like alley lots where two houses have collaborated and have put out clotheslines so that they can hang their clothes dry. But the thing that you notice with that too is that sort of like behind where these sheets are hanging, you could see that some of them are set up on the ground to be tents. You can see large clusters of people who are wearing their warmest thing they can and have looked like they've sort of like created a bit of like a what's the term? Is it like a shanty town for themselves? And you remember the exodus in Barrowdwin, where it looked like everyone in the town took what they could and went north. And you can imagine that, having seen what you've seen in the countryside in this short week together, and a bit longer for those of you who've been traveling longer, that it might be worrisome to stay out there. And even in the uncertainty of what happens in the city as the center, at least it has walls. So I think you see that as you walk in this outer ring. The city, I think I mentioned last time, looked outside like the walls were like sort of pentagonal in shape, coming in from a flat side where you are. And it looks like sort of these corner pockets of the city are all these like cramped areas that look like they would be lively in better times, but right now are just really tightly held together housing sections.
Can we see if there's any like, well, we can tell as nobles or residents of the city looking disgustingly at these shanty towns? Is there like the feeling of this shouldn't be here?
Roll me a perception check for that.
I was gonna say not with a 3.
Not with a 3. No, that's a different
18.
ask. An 18. I don't think you see anybody that looks like they could be nobility here.
Okay.
I think what you do see is you see in one of these like sort of clumps of people, you see someone who's like poorly playing a lute and trying to keep the spirit up, you know. You see in another one what looks like a bit of a sick sniffling child, and you see someone who looks a little bit better dressed, or at least like this is not their only outfit that they're wearing. An older woman who is sitting down next to the kid and pouring them some tea. And I think you see that the few shops that are out here have shopkeepers in them that some appear to be a little bit like maybe they don't sit outside their store and watch their stuff usually, but others sort of do look on these groups of people with a bit of a pang of like, I don't know if pity's the word, or but there's a little bit of a pang of sadness from some of the locals looking at these groups of people.
Okay.
Yeah. You guys saw walking in that the Jada Palace is going to be somewhere roughly in the middle of the city. So you guys can continue to forge on through. Is that where your plan is to go right now?
Unless anyone else has things they wish to do along the way.
Do we want to split up? One go to an inn, the other go to the palace, or should we all head to the same place?
Oh, I thought, am I allowed to talk now? I thought I had to shut up once we were inside. Is that? Yep.
That was a jest, Dirk. Jeez.
Listen,
A jest. Sorry. So peaceful.
I mean, if Paige is saying splitting up is what the Dark One's trying to do, we don't mind waiting outside whatever palace hoity-toity stuff you got going on.
I mean, hopefully they will accommodate, but, I mean, you two have your ears to the ground. Maybe you should get some of the local news while we do our hoity-toity business.
I was gonna say also walking all 4 of us in front of royalty?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it would make sense for Dirk and I to stay outside and see what we can learn from the common people.
Good idea. We should do that one.
Lior, you would know that the Crown High Council of Ghealdan is, maybe royalty isn't the word, but nobility certainly is. When this country was founded, it was founded by a group of noble people who decided that in a bit of a power vacuum, they needed to establish a seat for this country. And so they established Ghealdan, and one of them became the original king. But the remaining founders stayed on as advisors, essentially like their cabinet of ministers. And that's a tradition that's continued. Although it's a monarchy in Ghealdan, there has always been a senate of advisors that have combined together roughly equal, if not a little bit less, power in shaping the kingdom. So not royalty necessarily, but certainly high nobility.
The high nobility. It's not like the heads of industry or something like that. They're...
You actually roll me a history check.
Sure. Ooh, that's 5.
You don't know.
I've really started to learn from the quality of his ooh, whether or not it's a good ooh or a bad ooh.
I haven't. I was turning a page to give him information, and I will not do that. It's certainly there.
I'm gonna roll with your dice.
So perhaps we do our own things and then we rendezvous?
Where shall we rendezvous? What's a good place?
I figure we just find the pub that's closest to whatever place you're going, and you guys can just meet us back there.
Sure. How about we accompany you there and then we'll head off to the... that way we know where you are.
The closest inn.
Yeah. Question. If the question comes up, do I mention that there's a small army of white cloaks coming? Sometimes calling it ahead of time can help make...
Maybe don't make a big deal out of it. If they ask you questions about the journey, you say, "Oh, there's a small misunderstanding with some white cloaks," but
I don't think
I
that's
would
necessary.
just mention Barradwin and how it was vacant because of what seemed to be a large incoming
Yep.
of white
I
folks.
think mentioning some observations would be clever. Just say, we noticed Barradwin was empty, and we noticed that there's...
was that why it was empty? Because of the white cloaks?
Well, that was what the letter said.
I believe...
But I don't think that letter was for the town. We think that letter was for Paige.
Yes, but
We might want to bring that up too, and see who the letter is
Yes.
from to figure out
Lady
who's sending
Lauren has an
Paige
opinion on that.
letters.
Yes.
I think that's probably the second round of discussion. Yes,
I will
yeah.
definitely mention that when I speak
As long
to
as
her.
it's on your mind, Leor.
Of course.
Dirk, roll me. I think it's a history check. Unfortunately.
Fortunately, I'm proficient, so that's a 17.
Good. The topic of there's an army of white cloaks on their way. You would know that an army of white cloaks marching their way within sight of the capital would be like a declaration of war. You think it's unlikely that the army would follow all that way.
Well, A, that eases my soul.
Do you communicate this to us?
I'm thinking about it.
Is he scheming?
He's just going to go and let me go in there and shoot myself in the foot.
Well, he's deep breathing.
No, I think what my initial reaction was what you were saying. I was like, we should tell them an army of white cloaks is coming. Maybe we tell them a few white cloaks may be passing by or investigating something, but there's no army, there's no group, there's nothing.
Just say
We ran into an investigation.
White cloak
we ran
activity.
into some white cloaks.
We didn't even run into them. Saw them at a distance.
All
That's
right.
not
This
true.
is getting very nitpicky, and I'm not my forte, but well, I'll do my best. There's a lot of nuance and subtext to what you are saying.
So remember to mention Brome, but not that Brome should be here. Just that you
Oh
are
my
sent
god, I'm
as
going
a-
inside.
So you guys are at this point. You guys have walked a decent amount, and you've seen that like the city is sort of built in like rings, and so the reason that like some of these corner pockets were like domestic areas is because they didn't fit within the rings inside the city of the corners of this like pentagonal structure. The first thing that you start passing through is more and more businesses. You start to see very busy looking forges, a couple of leather workers places, some clothing shops. This seems to be like the sort of the trade circle of the town. As you move beyond that, you start to see more and more inns, colorful signs for the spring step, which has a person jauntily skipping, the eyes of some sort of amphibian peeking above a chair, and it says the furtive frog, which you remember was an inn that the peddler that you passed on your way up to Barrowdwin mentioned to you. You also see one that it looks uncharacteristically quiet, and you see that the front door, it looks like it's had a hasty paint job, but you can see underneath it that there is a sign that looks like a teardrop that is outlined in black. And you see the name of the tavern is Pendrag's Peace. But you pass through this travel section and make your way further inward, where you now get to...
I would point that out if I saw it. I
Totally.
would say, no, I think we've left. No, we're still with Tal and Dirk, right?
Yes, yeah,
we're
you're still accompanying each other at this
I
point.
would point it out and say, Tal, have you ever seen that before?
Seen what?
Point to the teardrop mark,
mark on the door?
That.
I don't think you have.
Okay. From the stories, I've heard that this may be a sign, the mark of the Dark One. It seems peculiar that it's on this door.
Dirk's left the group and is walking towards the bar.
Sure. You would know it's the Dragon's Fang specifically.
Oh, the Dragon's Fang. That sounds...
Yeah,
yes.
but interchangeable in most senses.
I'm not going to say it's the Dragon's Fang. So I'm going to say maybe it's a symbol of the Dark One.
You're walking up there?
Yeah.
Okay, absolutely. You walk up and there is a, absence of people at this point. It looks like these other ones are like people coming in and out really quickly, but you don't see anyone walk up to or from Pendrag's piece by the time you get to the door. And the door is sort of like, it's not a closed door, it's a push like saloon style door. And you push beyond it and there's just like a totally dead common room with one person behind the bar, not even cleaning it, just there. One person like lamely playing a sad little bit on a lute in the corner, but it's fully empty. And the door opens and the innkeep, a tall thin man, says absently, he goes, "We don't want any trouble. It has the name, sounds like dragon, but it has nothing to... Just leave us alone."
I'll leave.
Lets you go.
Yeah.
No problem.
Okay, cool.
Tal, who had followed him in, super confused, watches him leave and goes, have a nice day. Follows him out.
You see that the innkeeper goes... doesn't really respond, but just like looks at you and goes... Like, that is a foreign sentiment.
Like, oh, I just lost customers.
Yeah, like, they could have stayed here? Oh, no.
What was the name of the inn?
Pendrag's Piece.
Oh, Pendrag.
Which you know, of course, yes. All the famous stories of Arthur Pendrag.
Yes.
The great king. As you guys make your way beyond this sort of like travel sector, you start to see, once again, residential. An inner ring of the city that looks like nice. The homes are spaced out. There seem to be a couple of more guards on patrol here. The homes are still nice, and you see some of like maybe the upper class of Jehannah who are walking around in their fine clothes, seeming nonplussed, I'll say. You do see a couple of these homes have large groups of more scraggly dressed people, and it seems like someone is serving like a big stew, and people are able to come by and spend some time there. But this seems to be like a nicer section. And finally, as you make your way to the very inner ring, that's
are there less businesses? It's like it's more residential.
Yeah. The way that you're quickly gathering that the city works is that there's different like rings that contain different like centers of commerce.
They have zoning laws. Look at that.
A little bit, yeah. And you finally get into the Parliament zoning, which opens up into like a large section that's cordoned off with a smaller set of walls, but just looming large above you is the Jada Palace. Just huge. I realized that my description that I gave at the end last time is literally, it could just be the Disney, but it's not quite that. When I say spires, they're towers that reach up and then have a conical top. The central one is a lot more like cathedral-ish. Okay. With four corners, each coming to a fine point, looming large above, walls of a soft red, brick red kind of a thing that has seen some time pass by, but very well manicured roofs and windows, and in the ring that is like the city surrounding that's where you start to see more, less inns and more taverns. Places that you can come in and stop, a couple of really high-end shops, but you have found your way to the gates of the Jada Palace.
Question: Does the Jada Palace itself look like it is of Ogier make?
Roll me. I think it's history with advantage for you. You kind of have like the dwarf stone cunning thing.
Those were 2 very good rolls. History, that would be 21.
21. You can see that it does not necessarily look like you actually know that the Jada Palace was not built by Ogier. Mm-hmm. However, it has maintained its fine form in no small part due to the upkeep that the Ogier have provided. It's not Ogier made. There are some things that are a bit crude or tacky by your tastes, but it is in excellent shape despite being centuries old.
Okay. Well, here we are. Which of those inns caught your eye?
You can also see that there is a tavern in this area called Kirin's Welcome.
Well, I didn't see the sharp shear, but I'm sure it's somewhere around here. But the old peddler told us about the furtive frog, so maybe
Are they all alliterations?
a sharp shear.
That's just good business practice.
You're trying at this point. You're questioning whether it was called the dancing goose or the gansing goose.
Or the dancing deuce.
No, different.
Sweetheart!
No. That one's fine. I allow it.
It was creative. You get
Inspiration.
There you go.
that one's not an alliteration. That one's Kieran's what?
Kirin's Welcome.
There we go.
How about we
There's a
meet?
silent W.
Well, Kieran's what?
How about we meet at Kieran's Welcome, but you're free to go and do your research on your best behavior wherever you see fit.
I'm always on my best behavior.
As am I. So yes, we could do that. Yeah, how long does it take you? An hour, 2?
What time is it?
It is kind of late afternoon at this point because I think you guys spent most of the day traveling. Your fast pace sort of shaved like, maybe 6 or 8 hours off of your total travel, but that means that instead of getting there like at around noon, you've arrived at maybe 3 or 4.
Perhaps this evening?
How about we meet for dinner?
I like the sound of dinner.
We can do 6 o'clock.
All right, dinner at... What's this place called that we're standing? Something's Welcome?
Kieran's welcome.
Kieran's, that one, sure. We meet there. Me and Tal will go keep an eye on the town.
All right. Perfect. Let us know if you
We
find
will
anything.
single-handedly keep everyone safe.
I am so worried. This is not the energy we need.
A lady walks by and looks at you as you say that and ruffles your hair and goes, "And we're all so comfortable knowing that we have heroes like you, young man."
Don't encourage him.
And she looks at you without like breaking like any sort of like, "Oh my god, you and Ogier." She looks at you and goes, "We must foster bravery in the young generation."
Did you hear that? I'm the young generation.
Yes, you are. And gives you a lollipop.
Tal eats the lollipop.
Congrats.
All right, well, stay out of trouble. Shall we?
Let's go.
I'd like team town and team palace. One of you guys each roll me a d20 just to see what we go into first.
I've been rolling terrible. All right.
14.
Oh, I thought it was a 18. I was like, it don't stand a chance. It's a 1!
Of all of the things to waste a nat 1 on,
This is the best way to get it out of your dice's system, I think.
So they lose, they go first, or do we go first because we won?
I think, football rules. You guys can pick. Overtime.
Do we want to go first or second?
I always love defense in the offense in the second half. You know, you always start on defense, get the ball back in the second half.
What does that mean?
I know sports. You guys are going first.
I got that. I followed. Team Palace first.
Team Palace first. Pressure's on. Remember all the things we talked about.
What?
As you guys start to make your way towards a gate, it's not like a horrifying portcullis that might be somewhere else, but it's a nice, ornately carved gate with a guard, two guards posted in front of it. As you walk up, they look with.
I will start to like finger comb my hair and try and dust myself off and.
Yeah, absolutely. And they look at like a sort of dusty woman walking up to the gates, but then look right away at your companion, an Ogier, and right away they. Hail, friend Ogier. Glory to the builders.
Greetings.
We didn't exactly expect anyone to follow up, but I assume that you are here in response to Lady Aloran's request for stonework.
That is correct, yes.
Then please come in. Your aid would be greatly appreciated at this time. And this one is...
This is my traveling companion.
Of course.
Paige Bundelberg.
Paige Bundelberg.
Pleasure to meet you.
They sign you in. And you, I assume, are from Stedding Shangloon, but I have not had the pleasure of your acquaintance as of yet. Was Brom not able to attend?
He decided to send myself. I'm Lior, his apprentice.
Cool. Roll me like a persuasion check.
Persuasion or deception?
you tell me. Are they the same?
It's honestly the same, so yeah.
Yeah.
When I hear that, could I give them a big smile and say, and what an apprentice he is. I actually worked with him for 3 months on his way here, and he has produced some very fine pieces of work.
So now it's a persuasion with advantage. It's not deception.
Oh, thank God. Do not me. I will pay the swear jar. It is not bad for me. It is a 13.
A 13. That's good enough. That's good enough. They go.
For the guards.
No one asked you.
You're not here. I get to roll again for that later. Yeah, the guards say, then please, right this way. We'll show you the way since you're not familiar. And one of them enters the gates with you, which you can now see is like a lush garden. Not like it's magically upheld, like out of season, but rather it is a garden that is set for the winter. It looks like they have a rotation or maybe just like a perennial situation where like the garden does suit whatever time of year it is.
Like an intentional winter garden.
Yeah, exactly. There's like beautifully frosted pines and little like conifers and stuff like that. Red tart looking berries hanging all over and strange white leaved bushes that really make this place pop. But you do eventually cross over a moat situation and enter the front doors of the Jada Palace, which you quickly realize is not solely residential. Upon entry, there is just this vast chamber that looks like it may be leading off to some kitchens on the end, judging by people bustling around with plates and trays. To the upper right, there is like a firm guard of a few people standing at a elaborate door, which you might assume leads to the royal residence. But to the left, it looks like it enters, for lack of like a better word, sort of like an office building setup, where there are multiple doors, some of which, when you walk by them, you see an open window to a small meeting room where you see what look to be a few military tacticians moving pieces on a board. You pass by another room and see someone with pince-nez spectacles who is tabulating and using an abacus to make some calculations. And eventually you wind around a corner and they come to the door. A door that is quite simple, save for its deep purple hue, and built large enough. You notice all the doors in here are built large enough to be easily comfortable for you to pass through.
While making our way there, are we being accompanied by the guards?
You are being accompanied by one of the guards from the gate, yes.
Okay. While we're walking, not to the guard, but to Lior, I will say, Lior, have you ever met nobility before?
No. This will be a first.
Fantastic.
As the guard, just sweat pouring down.
How are your palms doing?
Your eyebrows just dripping. The guard knocks on the door and opens it partway and says, "Lady Aloran, I bring a visitor and a companion from Stedding Shangloon." And you hear, "What? Oh, right. I sent. Come in." And the door opens into a room with a woman sitting at a large desk. This woman has gray braided hair, and the braids are sort of woven in such a way that they almost make a sort of crown on her head, but not obvious enough that you could really say that that's the intention. She is a slight woman who looks a little bit bemused, but at the same time her gray eyes are like steely, kind of looking at you, and eyebrow raised, and also taking you in. And
I will curtsy.
yes, as the guard closes the door behind you, you curtsy, and she goes, "There will be no need for that, dear. Friend Ogier, you are not who I was expecting, and to be quite frank, I wasn't expecting anyone at all at this point. What brings you here?"
Oh, well,
Oh, my manners, my goodness. I am Parisha Aloran. Pleased to make your acquaintance.
Your name sings in my ears, Lady Aloran.
And your names are?
I am Lior, son of Mael, son of Thane.
And yours and mine.
And I'm Paige Bundleberg. The pleasure is all mine.
Yes, I come from Shangloon. Brom did indeed receive your request. Brom, being Brom, was taking careful consideration. However, the delays were growing, and so I come as his apprentice to help in any way that I can.
How young are you, boy? 100?
140. 146.
Old for one to be as hasty still as you are. I gather that a decision not being made, you might have perhaps taken it upon yourself to make one.
Well, I think if I had not, you would still be waiting for a response sometime next year.
And the elders aware that you have?
I mean,
They are now.
no. Now, yes.
At this, she chuckles a little bit and goes, "Strange."
It is sometimes easier to ask for forgiveness than for permission.
The hasty
I don't think I've ever heard an Ogier say that, but I love this energy. And you, Miss Bundleberg, is it?
Yes.
What brings you along with such a interesting companion?
I am here hoping to, trying to make sure that my friend here arrives at his destination safely. There's many villagers that judge a book by the cover, rather, and not by the story. And so I wanted to make sure that he could arrive here safely. He also knows the ways well, and I was hoping to come here to perhaps aid in the war effort. Not from the military side, but rather from the medical side. I haven't yet met with anyone yet, having just arrived, but I was hoping to maybe see how that could be arranged. But I am not asking you of anything. I am simply here to accompany Lior, the Great Apprentice, to fulfill his mission.
What a title.
Be cool, Paige.
She looks at you and says, "It takes a kind heart to want to help in whatever small but powerful way one can in times like these. I'm sure that we'll be able to find you somewhere where perhaps one of the mothers is willing to take an apprentice. For if not in the war, there are certainly people, as I'm sure you've seen, in our streets who could use attention.
All right. That would be lovely.
And now, Master Lior, I'm afraid that our usual contracted work is somewhat less of a priority. Now, I know that news reaches the steading maybe at a reduced pace, but have you any idea the length of the open declaration of civil war that we've been under? When it began?
No, forgive me. I try my best not to meddle in human affairs beyond perhaps being helpful in the capacities that we can.
It was approximately 7 months ago that the war began. Quite frankly, we'd imagined that news had reached the steading and that the elders thought it wise to not send any of their own out in such perilous times, and we did not expect an answer, even as delayed as Brahm's thoughtful responses usually are. But if you're here and willing to work, there's a desperate need for aid in the fortifications of our city.
Well, I guess that leaves me no choice but to help.
Wonderful. Would you be willing to meet with our coordinator of defenses?
Certainly.
Absolutely. Come, please join me this way. And she sweeps out of the chamber and walks with you back down the hall to where those people were moving figures on a chessboard, and opens the door without knocking. And at first there's a bit of like a from the guy sitting down there, and then they see who it is and they sit back down and nod. One of the men who is there, not seemingly in uniform, but maybe in like one of those like sort of like guys who like cosplay as if they're in the military, like they dress like they're a military person but they're not in the military, sort of in one of those jackets, a older man who's very advanced in his balding, who is thick but like a powerful kind of a thick, who stands up at first and goes, Lady Parisia, what is it? Who are these two that they would be in the councils of our military movements? The Ogiers certainly are not known for their warmongering. And you see seated around the table is like a younger man who looks to be maybe about like 21 years of age, who is sitting at a small chair next to a taller man in a military uniform who is shaves his head bald, with dark expression on his face, and frowning brown eyes, who is just looking at the pieces on the board. Those two seem to be wearing the outfits of the Legion of the Wall. Lady Aloran goes, well, Kylan, I'd heard that you might need some assistance in fortifications, and who better than to shore up stonework than the Ogier? And this man she has identified as Kylan goes, you're not incorrect. Excuse my manners, friend Ogier, it's been a trying time. Please, what is your name?
Greetings, my name is Lior.
And yours?
Paige Bundelberg, and I will curtsy.
He nods at the curtsy like that was expected and says, pleased to meet you, Lord Kylan Ashmar, Minister of Defense for Ghealdan. Now, I'm sure you saw if you've just made your way into the city, but there are holes in our walls.
It seems to have sustained quite heavy damage, although I would be curious to know the nature of such damage that it could wreak such havoc upon your fortifications.
Yeah, he goes, Captain. And the bald man with the stormy expression goes, The city has a policy, and the kingdom has a policy, that we are to welcome refugees. This is obviously important, and you look a little bit of a look in his eyes that's like the pragmatic side of him maybe thinks that that is not wise. The obviously is important, but the issue is that we are able to defend our walls from the outside from anything that crazed followers of this false dragon, and you see that the younger one goes to like act like they're gonna spit on the ground, but he grabs their arm before they can do it without even looking. And he goes, this false dragon sends the truly far gone members of his group to cause havoc. We can defend from the outside, but allowing refugees means that there's an easier chance for disguised ones to enter and cause disruption from the inside. I don't know how they've been doing it, but some have been entering within our walls and taking them down from the inside.
Oh dear.
There are a few spots on the northern side especially that we need to shore up. And if you're able to lend any assistance to the teams that are working there, that would be...
It would be my honor.
The country would thank you and your people.
Certainly. I would be remiss if I didn't mention it. I do not mean to meddle in your affairs and the affairs of humans, but I would say that we did, upon our journey here from the south, it came to us that white cloaks are, scouting the land. The name Lord Captain Canveli seems to be the name tossed around. Does not mean anything to me, but...
Yeah. Lord Ashmar looks over at the captain and says, were you aware of this? And he goes, no, Canveli usually doesn't travel anywhere far. You said the whole legion was approaching? How did we not know this? And the younger one pipes up and says, Felix, I told you, I got a message from Lord Strand saying that they saw outriders, and you said, I was trying to tell you, and you said that they weren't, you didn't have time, and you had to go to the meeting with Lord Ashmar. That was to Lord Ashmar. But I was trying to tell you, we got a message from Lieutenant Strand to say this, and this person who's been named Felix just looks at the younger one and goes, Captain Millen, sir. He goes, thank you for your scouting report, Deputy.
Captain Millen?
Captain Millen.
Was that not the name?
Captain Felix Millen is the name that you have gathered.
Pages.
Do I see any resemblance in...
There's no hair, but the brown eyes, and looking at the younger one,
gosh.
at this point, looking at the younger one who is posted up next to them, you see the stronger resemblance. You have been looking at the more domineering people in this room, certainly looking at Lord Ashmar and still Lady Pericia, who is standing in the back very appraisingly, like very much a part of this discussion, and at the captain. But at the name Captain Felix and Captain Millen, you go, wait a second, I heard this literally today, and look at the younger one who has dropped this information and has just kind of been rambling on and getting a little bit more excited. And you told me that you had to get to a meeting and Captain Millen, and that is very familiar. Yes, absolutely.
Is it Samuel or Julian?
You're not there.
They're everywhere like cockroaches.
I just look at Paige,
Yeah, Paige has been trying to blend into the wall and just not say anything and always keep her gaze averted, just quietly being close to Leor. And as soon as she hears that, you just see the eyes go
Ah! That was a hard miss.
I will look up to Leor with a little smile,
We don't mean to cause any upset. We just felt the need to keep you abreast of what we saw.
Certainly. I mean, as much as our efforts are focused towards the north, it's unwise for us to ignore the south. So this is valuable information and something that I think we'll need to keep an eye on unless we want the city to be even more overrun or filled with refugees.
Perhaps not the time and place, but will I be housed somewhere?
And Lord Kylan looks like if you sort of look off to the side, it looks like the conversation has pivoted pretty quickly to Captain Millen being the one in charge of it. And if you look off to the side to the board where like the pieces are, you could see that like Lord Ashmar is holding two of the figures like little knights and going. And Captain Millen goes, of course. Lord Ashmar and I have to get back to work. And puts them down. Yes, quite. Lady Parisha can speak to you of your accommodations.
Certainly.
While this is happening, would Paige be able to just softly look at the people who are there, not in any prying way, but at some point just steal a look at the chessboard? Not the chessboard, but I assume it's
the board with like the movements. Yes. How sneaky are you trying to be about it?
I'm not trying to be... I'm trying to be sneaky, but not in the sense that, like, I'm gathering all the information. I am...
Okay, so make a perception check with disadvantage.
Like a curious glance.
Like a curious glance, exactly. Yeah. Oh, it's a natural 20 and an 11.
Oh, that's such a bummer.
Oh.
I mean, what you can see sort of checks out with the geography. You could see that sort of the square that is by Lord Ashmar is not a square, rather. It is a clear, like, pentagonal shape that you would assume to be Jehannah. There's a line across the board for the river Bourne, I believe it is, Boern. And that is north of the city. And you could see different red pieces and pockets of red pieces that are closer to the city, and you could see a cluster of black pieces that are further north. But with an 11, it's hard to really gauge exactly where they are. Like further up the board, you could see like mountains and forest and stuff like that, topography-wise, but you can't necessarily see exactly where everyone is with a quick glance.
I know that they are there. I don't know the numbers, and I don't know the
locations. No, and it's not like clustered in one. That's exactly what I was looking for. It's a little bit spread out, so it's on the quick glance of you can't really pick out how many there are on the board. Yeah.
Okay.
For sure.
May I just ask, before we take our leave,
Certainly.
Should we be worried for our safety if there are these rogue members of the False Dragon?
No more worried than I think anyone ought to be in these times. I would imagine that on a tactical sense, it would make a little bit less sense for a return trip to some area that is actively being patched up than to create a new one. So, if you're working on repairs and not walking along the rest of the wall, I'd imagine that you'd have nothing major to fear.
All right, then. Well, thank you for your time, gentlemen.
Absolutely. They've already gone back to writing. You could see just like a little bit of the younger one gawking, but almost without even looking, Captain Millen elbows the younger soldier and sits back very straight and calm.
The younger one is Felix.
No. The older one is Felix.
Captain Millen.
Captain Millen, yeah. Felix and Captain Millen. That's the one name that you've gotten out of the two of them. So Felix, Captain Millen, same guy. Captain Felix Millen.
Oh,
if you
I
were
thought there
there,
were two brothers in the room.
It seems that way. The younger one.
Okay.
The younger one to
Okay,
them. Just so we're clear, you're not there, but
No,
the younger.
I imagine I would know that Felix was the captain.
I don't know that necessarily.
Cool.
You're about to.
But yeah, if you wait a little bit. But Lady Aloran walks you out and says, Right, well, as per our usual arrangements of payment, of course, an advance for any supplies that might be needed will be provided. And she sends a servant passing by running off with a slip of paper. But I'm afraid that in these times, the palace, rather King Johannan, and the council alike have decided that no foreign visitors might stay within the palace. The risk, you understand, is simply too great, and I can't go about making exceptions, even for someone as trustworthy and forthcoming as you, Master Ogier. Lior, is it? I'm so sorry, I'm terrible with names.
Lior, indeed, yes.
But I'm afraid we simply can't make any exceptions for any outsiders staying in the palace.
That is quite all right. We will find our own accommodations.
Certainly. Best of luck with that. And the servant comes running back, and she goes, yes, here you are, and gives you a pouch with 20 gold crowns.
Not bad. What was it for, real quick? It was for
She said it was for advanced supplies, should you need anything. And of course, the true payment, the visit to, and there's very much like a moment for you as like you walk by and pass by this giant library with like a real cartoonish like quadruple stack going way up, a librarian on one of those like ladders on wheels, like going around at like impossible speeds,
Hanging off and reading a book.
yeah, 100%. That you could read the title of the book is like There Must Be More Than This Provincial Life. But yeah, she goes, of course the standard payment upon completion will be arranged.
Wonderful. I can't even look. I'll get distracted.
Of course. And again, apologies that we're not able to put you up. I do wish that we could keep up the tradition, but you know,
That is
looks to you and says, you understand.
Of course. Do you have any recommendations, perhaps?
I'm going to be quite honest. Anywhere you can find a room?
Duly noted. All right.
Yes. Perhaps not, and I do hate to say it because wonderful people run it, but what is it? What is the name? The name escapes me.
Pendrag's piece.
Thank you. I forgot the second word. Pendrag's Peace has had a rough run. A name that sounds like dragon in these times among folks who don't necessarily wish to see the difference have led to a bad stray of crime against their establishment.
Oh, that sounds horrible. Is it, were they found guilty of anything?
In actual sense, no. In the court of public opinion, yes. And I would argue that at this moment, with the swell of population in the city, that is more important.
Understood.
Understood.
Right. Well, it grows late today, but if you wish to return on the morrow, we will be able to set you up with an assignment of sorts.
Wonderful. Is it all right if I'm accompanied?
Certainly by your friend, Miss Bundleberg?
Indeed, and we have 2 other traveling companions. If it would not be too much to ask, I would appreciate their company. They have kept me safe along these roads in such dangerous times.
Certainly. Roll me like a persuasion check with advantage. Yeah.
I'm not giving that advantage.
No, you're not giving an advantage.
16.
16. She seems to have a having just met you, also like bought into sort of what you were throwing down about Brahm, and like even reading you right away that you went away without permission, seems to have a high opinion of the Ogier. And you know from Brahm that this is someone that he has worked with many times. And so seemingly if you are judging their character positively, she's okay with that. So she says, well, certainly, perhaps not inside the palace walls, but
of course.
If you deem that they will be helpful to your task, then I'd be more than pleased at letting you bring along some help.
It is much appreciated.
Wonderful.
Thank you. Have an excellent evening.
Thank you, and same to you. Stay safe.
Likewise.
And she gives you a nod and looks back at a guard, and the guard goes, right, this way. I think we're done for the day. And he walks you guys back out. Now, where do you guys think that team keeping it to the streets was at?
Well, I already know what inn/tavern I'd like to go visit. I don't know which one you had in mind, Tal.
I get an opinion?
Well, not only an opinion, you might even get to choose.
Oh. No, I'm good.
You're good? No. All right. Well, I figure we might stop at the Furtive Frog just to see what's going down, but I wanted to stop in Pendrag's Might.
Peace?
That's the one.
He looked real surprised when I told him to have a good day.
Right, and those are the people I like to talk to.
Let's go.
All right. But you do the talking. We're just going to the Furtive Frog first. I mean, it's a good tester, you know? Get your
So
palate
am I
wet.
doing the talking at the Furtive Frog or at Pendrag's Peace?
Well, I was going to say both.
Huh.
What's the worst that can happen?
The wheel turns in mysterious ways.
I guess so. All right.
I guess so.
Oh my god. The creator is my co-pilot. That's so funny. Oh, okay. So you guys are making your way to...
This is gonna go so poorly.
You guys are making your way back to Pendrag's Peace?
We're going to go to
first
the
the
Furtive
Furtive
Frog.
First to the Furtive Frog. Frob.
Where
Absolutely.
did we say we were gonna meet these guys?
Back at Quindle's, we welcome. What's
Kieran's welcome.
that's the one. That's KW.
Quindle's wheel well.
Quindle's with you.
Cool. All right, so we'll go to the Furtive Frog.
Yeah, and you wind your way back through, the first residential district, and then the trade district, and then you're finally in, the travel district is next. And you see all these inns that you had passed through, and you see the Furtive Frog, and it is like visibly from the outside, like packed to the gills, absolutely full. But you are able to open the door and sort of like squeeze in, and you see what looks like a bunch of people in the tavern in the common room. There is a lively musician striking up a tune. A musician striking up a lively tune. It'd be alarming if he wasn't lively. And seems to be like the polar opposite sort of atmosphere that you would expect at some of these other establishments in this sort of a time. And you see a very, very frazzled man with a couple of wisps of graying hair and an apron stretched out over his belly, and he is at the door looking at all these people going, or at the bar looking at all these people going. Hasn't really taken notice of you. There's a lot going on in front of him.
Do you want me with you when you talk, or should I look around? You're going to be joining the army soon, so you need to practice and know how to be able to do this, right? I think if you can't do this, you might have to wait to join the army just a little bit.
Michelle gets where you're going now. Tal doesn't. So Tal's gonna say, I don't know. It didn't look like Cyrus and Otto had to do a whole lot of thinking.
That's right. And are you happy at the positions that your brothers have?
Well, you gotta start somewhere.
That's fair. Okay, I'll stay with you. Let's just do
Okay.
this.
So I'm gonna look for, I'll go up to the bar, and kind of put a couple coppers up on the bar and be like, "You have any juice?"
Oh my god. Jeez.
Just imagining Dirk in this moment, like, what have I done?
Dirk's like, "This is exactly it."
Yeah.
Do you have any juice? You put a couple of coppers up on the table, and doesn't really make any sort of a impression on this man. As you ask for juice, this man looks down and goes, "Do you be talking about something stronger than juice?
Nope, just juice.
A genuine request for juice.
As genuine as my middle name.
What's your middle name?"
Oh. Steve.
Roll me a deception.
She's getting beer for sure.
As genuine as my middle name lies about her middle name.
My middle name's a girl's name.
Oh, Steve, so in the world. 12. Shoot. All right, Steve looks at you like, absolutely not.
Tao.
Tal, right, not a middle name.
Tell Steve.
You're not very tall, you're actually a little guy. I have juice. Just a moment. And looks at you like,
I'll take an ale.
right, I'll get you the Steve Lager. It's weird that you came up with that as a middle name. And you look, he starts pouring out of a cask that says Steve on it. Very much like the scene in The Dictator when he goes like, "My name is Max, what is your last name?" And he looks at the sign that says Occupancy 150. And he brings you a little thimble of juice that looks pretty watered down and a mug of ale that looks pretty watered down. He goes, "That'll be 4 coppers." It's a high price.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're trying to make the ale last for everyone?
I do be doing so. You might not have noticed, but there do be a lot of people here. Gestures out wildly to the large crowd. Most of whom, actually make a perception check for me.
17.
Most of whom do not have any sort of drink on their table.
I'll just sip it real quick. Almost have my pinky out because I'm fancy.
Tastes like watery,
Watered down, yeah.
watery, but you can sense that in another life, it might have been a good, flavorful beer. It's, kind of refreshing right now, but watery.
I'm sorry for what you had to do to this, and I'll just put it back on the bar. Keep the change.
He goes, I don't like making a habit of it, but times being as they be.
Times seem pretty crazy. How come none of the other pubs are like this?
The other pubs don't want to take any folk in. And I'm sorry, he has pocketed your coppers even though you've given them back. He goes, and I do apologize for the prices I'd be charging, but, well, if I'm going to open the room, I have to pay for soup somehow. And you look and you get a sense, looking at all these people, they are not wearing nice clothes. They're looking pretty scared, pretty beaten up, but are all huddled into this room with a warm fire and a big pot of soup and a musician playing. Yeah.
You're taking in refugees.
I don't like making a big deal out of it necessarily, but someone's got to make sure that these folks stay safe if that's what they come to the city for.
If that's what they came to the city. Excuse me for a moment, Tal. Continue. And I'm just going to bustle to, like, the middle of the bar, like, the middle of the room. I'm just going to kind of stand there and, like, look around and just kind of close my eyes. You're really weird. And I'm going to try to sense. Do I get like, does it smell like BO in here? Is it really bad? Or, like, maybe I'm like, these people aren't so bad after all.
Smells like a dark friend.
Smells like a dark. Do I sense any dark friends here?
Oh, the dark friend. Roll me. I don't know what did I make you roll for this at last time? I'm gonna say insight with advantage.
Jesus.
You've been rolling well today, haven't you?
Not that time. Oh my goodness. 9.
You don't. There's an overwhelming. There's an overwhelming amount of people here, and you're trying to get this, but you're already sort of having a sensory overload, and then you are sort of standing there and like trying to parse it out and figure it out, and then you hear a voice say, "What are you doing? You look crazy. Play it off somehow. Do a little dance."
Ooh, shut up. I'm concentrating.
Everyone's looking at you.
They're not.
Everyone's looking at you.
I'll look around. Is anybody looking at me?
The people in your like immediate vicinity are looking at you because everyone's sitting down and talking, and you're just standing there. They're looking at you a little bit.
Yeah,
I told
shut
you.
up. Okay, you're right this one time.
Listen to me.
No. And I'm just gonna go back and head to town.
Okay.
So while that's happening,
It took a good minute and a half.
are you the only place taking in refugees?
I don't believe that I'd be the only one taking in refugees, but I might be the only inn. Plenty of folks coming in from outside of town who have coin to pay for rooms, and not enough. Not enough find another place for those who can't pay for a room. You, if you don't mind me asking, young man, Steve, Tal, you don't have the look of one who has come as a last resort, like some of these folk.
No, I'm coming to help my country.
That's noble of you, lad.
Used to the comment of "you're little, what are you gonna do?" totally immediately jumped to,
Well, I know I'm not big or anything, but you know, like the really big soldiers need people to saddle their horses and help them with their armor and make sure the soup's hot when they come back from battle, and I can help.
Listen, young man,
perks up at the men.
it might not be my place to tell you what to do with your life and the way in which you choose to throw it away, but I think it wise to consider that plenty of people might be being hurt by both sides of this here squabble, and I'd hate for you to throw yourself into that haphazardly. Respectfully.
How are people getting hurt on both sides?
At about this point, you walk back. He goes, find everything to your liking.
Unfortunately, not too many people. But that's not your fault.
It is not my fault. It actually is direct. It do be directly my fault.
Well, you understand what I mean by fault. You're actually doing a good. Yeah, you're doing a good thing, though.
But I tell you what is not full of people. My rooms. I have plenty of vacancies should you wish to stay the night before.
Where are these people staying?
Oh, I allow them a place to sleep indoors, in the room itself. And you can see that, like, a lot of the people are sort of, like, lounging on the side and not necessarily at tables. And it looks like they've got, like, some cushions over there. There's a sofa here that looks like someone has claimed early.
How much per room?
Per room, again, I do regret the prices I must charge, but per room it's 8 silver marks per night. It's I've got to cover it somehow.
I don't blame you, but I left my other coin purse at home.
Mm.
We'll come back later. We still have to see the rest of the town.
Understood.
We know you're here.
You know where to look for Mick if you're looking for a place to stay.
I'm sorry, is that a new drug on the streets? What?
No, I do get that a lot. It's not Mick O'Rainey.
Oh, that is your name.
Right.
Mine.
And you laughed at Tal Steve.
Tall. What kind of a name is Steve? That sounds crazy.
That is a little crazy.
That's wild.
But it's a middle name, you understand.
I don't think it is. I'm going to be honest. I read that pretty quick, but
All right.
My name's Tal.
that I do believe that.
All right, thanks.
Yeah, buzz off. I've got work to do. From you guys exit the Furtive Frog. From there, what do you wish to do?
We heading over to the Pendrag's Piece before meeting up with these fools.
Absolutely. You walk down the street to Pendrag's Piece, which is quiet as before. You see like one sort of sad-looking dude is sitting at a table nursing a big mug. But you walk back in, and this tall, skinny man looks back over. He goes, "You come back for more or something?"
I like the way you talk to me. Yeah. I'll go up to the bar.
More of what?
You getting some sort of rise out of this? Seeing a man at his rock bottom? And the guy at the table goes, "Hey, there's no need to bring me into this. I'm talking about myself, Stav."
Oh, that's a name.
Took me a sec.
Yeah.
Normal name. I don't know why we're laughing.
Looks pretty empty.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, it does look that way.
How much for a room?
A room? 2 gold.
Are you serious?
Fine, I'll walk it down. 1 gold.
I've got Froggy over here offering me 8 silver, and your empty house is gonna give me a gold?
That's great. There's this thing that I've discovered renting rooms lately where people try and come at me for reparations when their belongings get set on fire for choosing to stay at my inn because of the hard time I'm in. So yeah, no, I do have to charge quite a surplus for the inevitable firebombing insurance that I have to deal with because I seem to be cursed.
Why don't you close down?
Hard to say. Maybe you spend your whole life doing something and running the fine inn that your father gave you, and the thought of closing down means that, hey, maybe then you have to discover who you are as a person.
Oh.
I guess I'm just confused because we came in with open hearts and open minds, and
Sorry.
and it's not other people who are turning us away from you, it's you. So
Make a persuasion check or something?
Or something.
with advantage?
No.
No.
Not this time, Steve.
Persuasion?
Yeah.
Can I use my inspiration that you gave me on the very first session?
Oh my god, please. What? I know those are supposed to expire after a long rest, but like, good god.
Are they?
I think so, but
never
no,
done that.
use it.
Would
I can't
would
give
it be
away and
advantage
then-
or a D4? I don't know.
That's advantage. That's
Advantage?
Yeah.
17.
17. He goes,
Erase that.
Stav goes, "Kid's right. You're being prickly." He throws a mug at him and Stav gets knocked out. And he goes, "Look, I don't know how new to the city you are.
Brand spanking new.
And I'm sorry for whatever impression I'm giving you, because I'm well aware it's a poor one. I don't think you should stay here."
Even if we say we can take care of ourselves?
No, you don't understand. I've had people come in wanting to join the army. I've had people coming in wanting to help fortify the town. I've had people coming in just trying to help a man while he's down. And every single time I have thought better of it and went against that judgment and let them stay so I could try and recoup some losses, something happens to the inn. The kitchen catches on fire. Something goes wrong with the soup and everyone gets violently ill. Another person scrawls the dark mark That's not what it is in this world. Another person scrawls the dragon's fang into the door, and once again I have to answer a lot of questions from some various curious folks.
Oh, so you didn't put that mark on your door?
God, why would anyone put that on their own door?
Well, I don't know. That's why I originally came here, to see why you put that on your door.
No, it's these idiots that have never read a book in their life. I've read very few books in my life. It's these idiots that have never thought to think that Pendrag means something other than dragon. A totally different guy. Luce Theron Telemon,
Right.
Arthur Pendrag. Different people.
Seem to be the same group kind of coming and burning, or are you talking you've never seen these folks?
No, I catch people running away in the middle of the night, but sometimes I'll just be standing there and I watch a pot of boiled chicken. I know, sad. Boiled chicken, no seasoning. I watch it catch fire and set my roof on fire. I'm standing there and I see no reason why that should be happening. When I tell you that I am cursed, I mean that I am cursed.
How much for 2 rooms?
A reasonable rate. Please.
For 2 rooms, I would make a persuasion check.
Wow, that just wasn't a lucky bounce. 17.
For 2 rooms, I will charge you 1 gold crown. And once again, I would caution you that you should not do this thing.
Don't worry. We won't be staying here. I have some acquaintances that we need to buy rooms for. Here's your gold.
Just one question. When people don't stay here, do bad things still happen?
Maybe that's the particular trademark of my curse. The bad thing is that no one's staying here. So, at least then the bad thing's only happening to me, huh?
Oh, so bad things still excellent. Please take this gold.
No, I think he's saying that bad things don't happen when people are here. The only bad thing that happens is that there's nobody here. But when people are here, the boiled chicken catches the roof on fire.
This 9-year-old gets it.
This is why
I'm
he's
not
with me.
9!
Okay.
14 at the very least.
That seems oddly non-specific.
A moment. Tal. I think, given I've been a pest, I think if we got at least Paige a room here, I would say Lior should stay with her, but I think it would be really funny.
I think it would be hilarious. However, I don't want this guy's roof to catch on fire because we played a practical joke on Paige and Lior.
Apparently it happens all the time. It's really not a big deal.
Guy playing the lute in the corner. And the string breaks. He goes, that's the 4th one today.
You see?
We can try to see if we can solve the problem.
Less fun, but is Paige still involved somehow?
Yes.
Here's the gold.
Is this a donation?
We'll be back later for our 2 rooms. Please make sure they're prepared.
Absolutely. They've been prepared for 3 weeks.
Right, so re-prepare them, please.
I'll make sure that no animals have wandered in and died.
That's honestly all I'm asking.
Wonderful.
Excellent. Let's go get them.
Cool.
Amazing.
What happened?
See you soon.
Okay. Looks just like really rattled that somehow this has turned into kindness, seemingly, and also like a little bit like Bilbo Ring style, like looking at the gold, going like, it's money, but lets you leave.
As we leave, I'm gonna straight up look at Dirk and be like, "How do you have so much money?"
I'm running out, but I've worked a little bit over the years before meeting up with you guys. I've got some gold.
I have 5 silver marks.
Maybe stop paying for things.
I haven't paid for anything. You have.
That's even worse. Here, and I'll just flip her 2 gold crowns in case something happens.
I've gotten this far without any gold crowns.
That's fair, but we're in a city now. A city where things apparently catch on fire.
I'll tuck the gold into my...
This is more money than you'd ever thought you would see in one place at one time.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you guys make your way.
I was just gonna. Dirk can probably tell. Like Tal's eyes are wide. Like, what if I drop it? What if I lose it? What if it's stolen?
You guys make your way back to the inner ring of the city of Jehannah, and make your way to Kieran's Welcome. This lively inn, tavern that right away goes. Good evening. May I seat you guys anywhere?
Near the side, away from the door. I've got some friends coming later.
That doesn't seem sketchy. Absolutely. And they bring you guys in. And they go, like, can I start you off with something to drink? Just water? Would you like to take a look at our ale menu?
Do you have juice?
Oh, I'll get you a kid's menu. And walks off.
Excuse me. An adult juice. I would like one too.
I'm gonna think about what adult juice means, and I will be right back with 2 of those.
Big smile from Tal.
At about this time, you guys walk in, and you walk in and look for them, and then you see 2 very bright, a waitress walking by with 2 very bright colored cups with like butterflies painted on them, and sits them down and goes like, here you go, 2 adult juices.
Just like, okay.
Yeah. And I'll be back to take your order in a minute, okay? Walks off.
I'm just gonna take a quick sip real quick. It's like, what is this, like regular juice?
Roll me a constitution. No. It's regular juice.
Okay,
You taste regular juice.
Okay.
You taste a cider.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't drink that yet.
It's juice.
Of course. What else would it be?
It's got butterflies on the cup and everything.
I was actually hoping for some juice. I'll get some more next time.
Yeah.
What did you get?
I've got some sort of beverage. It's a cider of sorts.
Want to switch?
Yeah.
You see that the waitress is looking at you from behind the bar going, but doesn't intervene directly.
Don't drink it all.
No.
Okay.
And you guys walk into them daintily sipping their juice cups.
That's tasty.
Bubbly, I think.
Sure.
Aren't you 2 having a splendid time together? This is so adorable.
Just some juice.
Can I see the butterfly straw?
There's no straw.
At about this time, 2 members of the staff walk over with a large chair and they go, for you, sir, welcome to the establishment.
Oh my. Now this is service. Thank you.
Yeah, they take out a small chair and give you a large one to sit on.
We'll have 2 of those.
Okay, great. This is a whole juice thing now. Absolutely.
You can just put it in the same glass that you'd put an ale in.
We're not going to do that. It's more fun.
I want butterflies on mine.
For the sake of my sanity, you guys get whatever kind of juice you want.
But I want the mystery juice. I don't want to know what I'm getting. I
You're
want you to tell
reunited.
me what I'm getting.
Butterfly juice.
So how'd it go?
Pomegranate.
I don't like pomegranate.
So whining about it.
Sure.
God damn it.
Playing musical juice.
The war is upon us and COVID-3 is ravaging the neighborhood. Stop it.
It went well. It was, honesty is indeed the best policy. Believe it or not.
I was
You
gonna
look
say-
surprised.
Well, I was gonna say I've been saying that for a while, but I'm a boy, so
She's a boy. Just in case anyone was listening. Definitely a boy.
She is a
I did not lose that.
Well, it looks like there is much work to be done on the fortifications. They cannot, unfortunately, put us up.
That's okay. We bought rooms.
Oh,
Isn't this establishment quite enthralling?
I mean, it is good service.
Service is great.
Yeah.
We're not staying here.
What?
I don't think it's an inn. It's a tavern, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
Even all more reason we can't stay here.
You got my hopes up. Okay, well, where are we staying?
Oh, it's a surprise.
All right.
You said best behavior.
Of course. I barely talked.
I did a lot of the talking.
I feel like there's a loophole here that I did not account for and has been abused.
But listen, my real question was that lady you met, Palachina. Did we find out?
That's what I have in my notes, precisely.
Is when I heard that letter.
Yes?
Is she sleeping with your Ogier friend?
What?
Did she sleep with you?
What?
Fix my walls, creaking, a little dry. Come on, Leor, put 2 and 2 together.
The first one was involved in the letter. The other two are a Dirk spitball.
Dirk heard one thing and was like, no way.
Paige, did I miss something?
Leor, you didn't miss anything. I have no idea what he's talking about.
She's playing hard to get then. My man. All right. So what's the next step of our operation? Are you fixing walls?
They did ask me to do that, which is all right because it's the job that I came here for. I have to go back there tomorrow, but I did ask that if you want, you can accompany me. Apparently, there's been some trouble on the wall. It seems like the false dragon has been sending some of his supporters to cause the damage.
That's what we saw when we came in. On the walls.
Perhaps it would be nice to have, some safety.
Which is, I guess, good. So you're saying that there are people being sent in, destroying walls. Are they wearing a special uniform? Can we know that they're with the false dragon?
No, Dirk, I don't think they're showing sign of their support. I think they're doing this in secret. That's why it's so hard to find them. Thus, it's our job Leor's job, to assess what has happened and fix the problem.
Wait, am I supposed to find them?
No.
No, that's not what she said.
There's so much subtext.
There is.
It's incredible. They should put closed captioning on. Just explain the situation. It would really help.
Well, if she wanted to really find any of these false dragon people, she probably should go look at the Furtive Frog. Overcharging for watered-down beer, overcharging for rooms, and there's a lot of people staying there for free. Could be the base of operations.
You think?
That's not what I got at all.
No.
Maybe I'm not the best judge of character, though.
That beer was just really expensive.
It was not the cheapest juice I've ever had.
I will ask the
Can I get
waitress.
y'all another round of juice?
Excuse me, how much, these 4 beers going on the gentleman's tab, how much are they gonna total him?
Oh, they're 5. Oh, no, sorry. Group pricing, it's early. 4 each.
4
Silver.
silver. Got it. Thank you. Yes, we'll have one more round.
I'm sorry, hold on. The juice is 4 silver?
That's correct, yeah.
I'm sorry. We came to the wrong place. This great we've met up. We'll take our leave. Is it free refills on the juice?
Oh, I'm sorry, hun. I think you know it's not. Can I get y'all an app?
No. Perchance we'll leave. We'll go. We realize we're not supposed to be here.
Certainly seems that way.
That's what I thought.
I will ask you to pay your bill.
I figured you would. Wish you hadn't told me about it before we entered, but that's okay. All right.
In her defense, she did ask us if we wanted to see a menu, and we said no.
I did ask you, waived your right to knowing the price of your drinks.
That seems like a questionable policy.
Excellent service. All right. Young one.
I think he's talking to you.
No, I
He's
was
not looking at
the
me.
4 silver. Your juice will pay up, and I'll pay 8 silver for me in town.
He's a gentleman. I'm going to take out a gold and hand it to her and say, you can keep the change.
Wow, a generous tip. And looks at Dirk.
What is up with you people and the gold? It's nuts.
It's just a small bit of gold. I just hold my hand out for the 2 silver she owes me.
What's that?
Because I had to give her a gold, so I'm just waiting for the 2 silver she gives me.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought that was a split tab. You seem to be paying there and being a gentleman.
Yes, you said it was 4 silver. So
Right,
4
silver
4
each.
silver.
Right. And so
Right, and I gave you a gold.
No, I don't think you did. Can you roll me a persuasion check? A deception check, actually.
15.
15? That's good enough that I have to roll. If it was a 14, I'd
Yeah.
say no because you just did it. That's a natural 1.
But in reality, I did just write off a gold and then put the 2 silver. But if she doesn't give me the 2 silver,
No, she'll give you 2 silver back at that
Good.
point. I rolled a 1.
Good. Thank you.
Wow.
Next time I will look at a menu. All right.
Thank you for coming to Corinne's Welcome. Y'all are not welcome here.
You should think about, helping with the refugees. Okay, thanks, bye. And walk out.
A man in a powdered wig on the side goes, and you guys are gently escorted out by some staff who are more apologetic. They send 2 kids to your chair and almost pull it out from under you. And they go, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
I did not like that place.
I spent more gold today on juice than I have in 3 weeks.
Do you mean you didn't read the menu?
Why would you?
Thank you.
To know the price, clearly. I mean, look how upset he is now that he didn't read it.
How many places have you been that have a menu?
Well, I worked at one just before getting here, and we had a menu. I wrote it myself.
I never saw a menu. You just told me, do you want a hot chocolate? And I said, yes. You didn't tell me a price.
That's because I was paying the drinks.
Oh. Hot chocolate. And so we head off.
As you head off and you start making your way to Pendrag's Piece, you're walking there, and it looks just as quiet. Night has fallen now, but notably there are no lights on inside. As the door, as you're walking up to it, comes swinging open, and carrying a gurney are 2 people, and on the gurney, with one eye to the face and a sort of blanket draped over it, you see the tall, thin form of the innkeeper. He's just going, I knew it.
What happened?
You, just like frantically pointing around, rips the blanket off, and you could see blood coming from behind one. You happened! I let you convince me that it was fine and that there was no curse. There's a curse.
I never said there wasn't a curse.
Yeah, I didn't say there wasn't a curse. I'm actually banking that there is a curse.
You did this to me.
Paige, can you help him?
I don't know. You said there's a curse.
No. I don't want anything from any of you.
Did you?
I don't want anything from any
Did
of you.
he curse you?
You give me a coin, and I get so excited that I finally have a paying customer, and I flip it up in the air, and I go to catch it, and it bounces away, and I turn around, and I stick my eye directly into the corner of my bar.
Did you not know it was there?
Takes off the hand. Disaster.
Oh my god.
There's no eye. No, I didn't see that it was there.
Wait, you didn't start with an eye in there, did you?
Just gets so angry.
Have you already spoken to
gets
this man?
So angry that he passes out. Balls up a fist and looks at you and goes,
It's like turning into Super Saiyan but going the
No,
opposite direction.
But did he have an eye patch or something when we met him?
if you meet someone with an eye patch, I, the DM, will tell you that they have an eye
I
patch.
just wasn't sure if I missed the description. It's just I'm trying to picture
In a world-
rounded corner of a bar completely taking out an eyeball.
I never said the bar was rounded. This guy's cursed.
Is he being carried out by 2 other people?
Yes, one of them is the drunk guy, Stav.
Yeah. Good job, Stav. Drinks when you come back.
You got it. And then someone, they close up the door and put a bar over.
Whoa. Excuse me. Oh, sorry. There must be a misunderstanding. I have rooms in there waiting for me.
And the other gurney carrier goes, unfortunately, sir, it's not up to code for someone to stay at a residence with no staff. So unfortunately, we will not be able to allow you to stay here for the night.
Disappointing to hear, but I will gladly take my gold back and be on my way then.
What if that man just stayed here? I think he's called Staff.
Just passed out. A guy goes, take if you want to take your gold.
Swear jar.
Yeah.
Gladly.
Yeah.
Proudly.
Never saw that coming.
Proudly.
I think we've lost the concept of the swear jar.
The swear jar.
Dunk God.
No.
Robert Jordan, I'm so sorry.
There's just like a world of difference between an accidental F-bomb and an
Yes. I'm proud of one of them. I did one of them on purpose.
I'll do it again.
I stand by that.
Fire and ashes.
blood and ashes.
This counts. Fire and ashes. Same world. You get the sense that you're probably not getting your gold back.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna stand very upset and watch as he leaves.
I'm going to say quietly, Dirk, did you curse this man?
No, it seems his curse has befallen me and has cost me a gold.
But you still have your eye. What happened to him? What did you do to him earlier?
He told us that anytime someone stays at his inn, bad things happen. And we said that we wanted to stay at his inn anyways.
Wait, why would you do that?
What inn is this? Where are we?
This is Pendrag's.
Peace.
Thank you, Tal, again.
Oh, it's the one that Lady Lawrence said
Yes.
has run down on some hard times.
We were supporting a local business.
Dirk, you have grown so much. This is incredible. I honestly thought she's saying that we shouldn't go there, and I'm saying this is a man who's fallen down on his fortune, and we should be supporting him through that tough time.
Exactly what
And then so how did you take out his eye?
Does anyone have a passive perception above 14?
Yeah, I got 15.
15?
I got 15 as well.
15.
I have nothing. I'm so focused on just grilling Dirk right now.
You guys hear, and you see a short person crawl up. As you're sort of having this discussion, you hear, like, just behind you, like, and you look and someone has scrawled another dragon's fang on the door and goes to run off.
I'm going to absolutely try to catch them.
Okay, make a grapple check. I'll say.
I'm going to have to re-roll that one out, right?
No. Can you put a D4 in it? Can you put a D4 in it?
That looks fine to me.
Oh my! What?
Drop it on it, right?
Oh well, actually no. That time.
Hey.
Hang on, now
That
try
looks
one more
good.
time. Try one more time.
Third time's the charm?
I don't think that's how this rule works.
See?
Best 2 out of 3.
Do it with the metal dice.
No, because he kept putting it on the edge.
I really was. No, I don't think I can.
No, it doesn't. Like, I'm trying to push it down, and that's the state it's in.
Yeah.
Yes!
That's good.
That's a nat 20 then! We were very excited.
That's not a nat 20.
Yeah.
Yeah. Child. 12.
The hell is going on?
It's this is there's the name is the dragon.
No, learn how to read.
No, that's I'll never learn how to read.
You can't do that unless you know how to read.
My friends told me, and
Your friends are wrong.
you hear like snickering, and you see kids like pointing and laughing, and then you notice them and they run off. He goes, they dared me, okay?
They dared you.
Yeah.
Scrawling the dragon's tear.
Yeah?
Right.
Hey,
Should I just...
Dirk, I dare you to sit on him until he can't breathe.
No thanks.
Well, I was gonna just turn you over to the White Cloaks. But this is
There's no white cloaks
much
in the city.
better.
They're not allowed in the city.
Excuse me, and I'll just like put him down and then pick him up again. I was just gonna bring. There was not.
Yeah, you like reminding him of the physical advantage. It's like all of a sudden, like I was way too confident. I'm a child. This person is manhandling me. He goes, please don't.
Right, now I caught you. I don't know why I caught him. We have a room here, and I didn't want him painting anything.
I dare you to try and find a way into this building and open the door from the inside.
I'd rather not.
Oh, so you can turn down dares?
Yeah, this one makes me go inside the building, and I don't want to do that.
I have a sneaking suspicion that you didn't want to draw a fang on the door, and you did.
Oh no, I wanted to. I thought it was funny.
So now you're gonna go in the building. That's your punishment.
I don't want to go in the building.
No choice.
What if I scream really loud and get a guard to help me?
Ooh,
Building
yes.
or white cloaks?
He wants to shout for the gods.
I covered his mouth before he can make a noise.
in my mind.
I'm starting to feel bad about the way we went about this.
I was like, I'll just throw him in the window.
Oh my god.
No.
You go to cover the mouth, but one muffled cry gets out, and you hear, like, almost alarmingly, like, a bunch of guards go, "What was that? A cry for help?" around the corner. Very good nat 20 perception roll.
Yeah.
And he goes, "You're gonna show us trouble?"
Over here.
Double down. Paige goes like,
Calling the bluff.
And then the guards come walking over, and they go, "Who are you? Why are you manhandling this child? Explain yourself."
Do you know the person who owns this building?
Yeah, poor John.
Poor John?
Yes.
This child is scrawling the dragon's fang on poor John's door and is causing him even more hardship than he's already going through right after he got taken away in a gurney with a bloody eye.
Willis, how many times do we have to tell you need to get new friends?
You can uncover his mouth.
I know. It's just... Yeah, he gets stuck in a... And the guard goes, "I know, kid. Peer pressure's tough." Goes, "Okay. Look, you can't be holding this child."
Vandal is...
Yeah.
You're just talking to him.
Look at the whole building, and you could just see the amount of times that it's been drawn on. It's a bit of a sunk cost issue at this point.
So you're not gonna help poor John?
Last I heard, we just saw poor John get wheeled out of there, which is good. I think the best help poor John could have had is to get out of that building while... Look, the city's full of new people. There's always going to be new people who find some weird connection with Pendragon Dragon. It's best for poor John to just get out of that building and... What's the word that... And the other one, the guard goes, "Detox." Right, detox. Just, get out of the building for a while.
We clearly weren't aware of the reputation of what was happening here. Apologies, I didn't mean to manhandle a child. I just saw some vandalism and crime and wanted it to be stopped.
We appreciate the gesture, and sort of grab the kid away from you, but maybe leave stopping crime to those who are meant to stop it in the city.
That's a great idea.
Yeah.
wasn't it the place where you paid for rooms for yourselves? And now you...
Page.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
Did poor John try to warn you?
He... if I think about it, he might have said something about a curse. But I mean, when...
He said that the people who stayed were cursed.
Right, and they were doing bad stuff, and we said, well, we're not going to do that.
Right, well, and I think poor John, I can see the way that you're sort of screwing up your eyeballs, so I'm not really going to roll an insight check. But I can imagine that poor John, is a pretty honest guy, told you that a lot of the bad things that happened led to him having to reimburse other people financially.
Yeah, we weren't expecting that.
Yeah. Bad times for John.
Yeah.
Look, you don't want to stay here. Nothing good ever happens when people stay here. I don't know what the deal is. It could just be people in unrest, but you don't want to stay here.
It's I don't know what to say because you're the guards and your voice sounds kind, but everything you're saying just sounds so sad.
Kid, this is a sad time.
But it's been going on for too long.
Yeah, a lot's been going on for too long.
Yeah, you're not making it any better. Thanks. Yeah. Bye.
Yeah, real strong reality check for you. Just rips a cigarette and goes.
Damn kids.
Look, I'm sorry if you paid for a room, but that's a lost cause. You gotta find somewhere else.
Right. We shouldn't want to stay here, and we probably should find somewhere else because we're not getting the money back.
No, I want people to help poor John.
We're gonna help poor John. Redecorate, refurbish. It's gonna be a whole
Poor
new
John
place
getting out of this building is the best thing that could happen to him. That's the best help he could find. Listen, you wanna solve the war and stop the dragon and get people to stop freaking out about the name of his tavern. That's the best you can do, but I doubt that any of you can do that. And one of them very belatedly looks at you and goes, "Glory to the builders."
Thank you, officer. Good day, Willis. Hope you find some better friends.
Not gonna happen. There's a little part of me that likes being a scoundrel.
I get away with everything. The guards only just talk to me, you know? There's no actual punishment.
Zach is not bleeding through at all.
You ever watch Leave It to Beaver? There's no way anyone would like that kid, and yet...
All right. So I'll just, like, go to, like, take a couple steps as if I'm, like, walking away, and we'll, like, part ways from the guards, and then I'll, like, stop, turn around, wait till they go. I'm kicking this door in. We're going to sleep in this...
I know. I have to say, the more people tell us we shouldn't stay here, I don't know what it is.
Leor.
It's infectious.
I love it. Are you kicking in the door or am I?
Well, if you kick in the door, they're going to know we're here.
What if I try to sneak in through the window?
Let's wait. This is all very creative and very interesting. We should probably actually find rooms to stay. And then when our names are in a book and that the guards, if they inevitably come to see what's going on, ask anyone, did they see anyone? We don't say, well, we were just trying to get into the rooms we paid for, because that would be illegal, considering they said no one stays here without staff. We should first go to a tavern, to an inn.
John.
Sure. And then perhaps then talk about what our options are. Maybe get a clear head. Does that sound...
No, that sounds like way too much thinking. I'm feeling this right now.
Leor.
This is great.
Do you always act on your instincts, Leor?
I think being around Dirk does this to me.
You Dirk, you bad influence, you
Dirkified
bad boy. You bad boy. Okay, fine. This is crazy. We've arrived here nearly like 4 hours ago. I'm going to stand lookout. Does that sound all right?
Yes.
Yeah, the streets have cleared out a great deal.
Perfect. I'm going to go over there, and I'll let you know if I can see anyone coming. No promises, because I don't see well in the dark, as you have seen.
There's some torches in the streets.
Perfect.
You sound like you're freaking out right now.
We've arrived 4 hours ago, and we're already committing acts of treason.
I paid for this room, Paige. I paid for the room.
We are going against the guards' orders.
No, there wasn't orders. They literally said you shouldn't want to stay here. You can't because he's not here. But you know what he said? It's not safe if I'm not there.
No, he said that according to code, you cannot stay in an inn. I know this because I worked at one, and that Stav always has to be there. Stav was the cat at the inn I worked at. Stav was the man who left here.
John.
What's that?
John.
His name was Stav.
Stav was the other man who left here, the drunk guy.
Yeah, and he said, we'll be back here for drinks later. So, he clearly okayed us being here.
Is that what he said?
Yeah, I said, Stav, drinks later. He went,
Is Stav an employee?
no.
No,
But
I think it's...
he might as well be the only
That
one.
wasn't clear.
We cannot stay there if there's no Stav, is what I understood. And since he left, we'll have to wait for him to come back.
I thought we couldn't stay because John left.
Exactly. Paige doesn't know what she's talking about.
Maybe we kick down the door together.
Dude, I love it.
Yeah, what are you guys doing?
Yeah.
What are you guys doing?
I'm gonna climb through the window.
Okay, and I'll take watch with Paige.
I'm going to go to this... Yeah, and then...
Leor's cover towel.
I'm just doing exercises. I'm
I'll
getting
try
ready.
I'll try to lockpick the door first because I forgot that I have it. No, I can't because I don't have the proficiency.
Yeah, you just have a set of lockpicks.
You were very clear in telling me that I'm not allowed
Super don't have proficiency
to
in them.
try.
But you do have a set of lockpicks if ever you do take some crazy thing to give yourself proficiency.
Yeah.
You can try and use them, you just don't get your proficiency bonus.
No, you straight up told me when I acquired them that I wasn't allowed to try.
Yeah, but I've gone back on that because I think it's funny.
Yeah.
Sorry to everyone who doesn't get this. Michelle pulled an insane move in our session 0 to threaten a child. And so now...
Fine. But if you're going to be my squire,
Yeah.
you will have errands.
Oh, yeah.
Okay? And I'll just pull out like a small list of like things I need picked up, and they're like small like lock picks. Others are like small hammers or tools, like a healer's kit. Well, I don't even know we have a healer's kit, but like a herbalism kit, like all these odds in that I'm like, good, and I don't give you any money.
That's okay.
Yeah.
I will, find like an urchin in the streets, and kind of stalk him and wait for him to pick a lock, and then be like, "Give me your lock picks," or I'm bringing you to the watch.
You have to stop now.
You rob the robber or stealing from the bar.
I'm gonna with one of my darts in my hand, I'm gonna straight up sneak up behind him.
Yeah.
And dart on the carotid.
Okay, make a stealth check.
Jesus Christ.
As you approach, you hear the sounds of... Old man Farrier did me wrong that one time. I have a complex backstory and motivations for what I And you, right as you hear a click of the first tumbler, this kid feels... Goes... I'm sorry, sir. I was just fixing your pad... I was just fixing your padlocks. Nope. Who are you?
Stop.
Then gets a little bit more scared. Who are you?
All he'll see is my hand come out. The dart's still there.
Yeah.
Around arm bar, kind of bar around the neck. Dart like this. The picks. The picks, or I tell Farrier. Five. 4.
Okay, make an intimidation check. Advantage.
Oh my god. So good. Both 17s.
Hey, nice.
2 17s.
Ka-ching.
Oh, that's a 34, baby.
Is there beside the gate, is there a pile of something? I'm looking for something to push him into so I can make an escape without him seeing me.
You're by a horse cart.
I push him into the horse cart.
Yeah.
I flip him in it, and then I bolt.
You're gonna push him into horse manure. Instead, you take his head and go, and he just goes and then
Go to sleep.
So now Tal has lockpicks.
A criminal.
Okay, juvenile delinquent at best.
It seems to be a recurring theme in this campaign, just so you know.
Hey, it's a twisted world. Okay, so you are standing watch on one end of the street. You are standing watch on the other end.
Can I provide cover with my large frame?
Yeah.
And this tiny person?
Glory to the
Yeah.
builders.
So I'll ask you to roll a stealth check.
I'm rolling the stealth
You
check.
are rolling a stealth check.
Right.
You are rolling a dexterity check.
You pulled a fast one on me, sir.
And you guys are rolling proficiency. What were you wanting?
I wanted her to roll the stealth check, and me to roll...
She's picking a lock.
23.
Man, it's not bad. 12.
Perceptions?
Yeah, perception.
That threw me for a loop. 11.
14. Would I be able to do one thing? While I'm walking away, I want Lior to hear in his head my voice saying, Lior, dies. Your reason to be here. That will be all.
What did you roll?
I rolled a 12.
A 12. You hear this and kind of real quick. You don't really notice anything over there. You see shadows in the night.
Everybody's watching.
Everybody's watching. You don't really seem to notice anyone. People funneling into the Furtive Frog. People funneling into something called the Miner's Rest. But You don't seem to notice anyone looking this way.
Perfect. What I will do is I will like be walking up and then walking down. What I don't want is to see someone and then say, hey, there's someone here. I want to go, and if there's anyone who's walking, I want to engage them and try and persuade them to. That's my plan, just to let you know.
So that's different. That's not a perception. That is a
patrol check.
Just a random woman patrolling the street trying to talk to people.
Not exactly. It's more like, oh, I need to go here, and then go in the doorway and be like, okay, no, I need to go over there, and then once
So that's
in a
a
while keep an eye.
performance check.
I'll take that. Should I use the same roll?
No. I'm asking you for a different thing.
It's a natural 20.
See, I felt that coming. You see, as you like lean in to a door, you like go and you look around and you see that there's no one. Maybe a couple people, and you see them start to walk down the street, and you like go to a doorway and go, no, that's not the one. Oh, where am I? And two people walk around, and as they were about to turn the corner where you're coughing, and Dirk is like angry staring into the darkness, they just talk to you like, oh, miss, are you lost in any sort of way?
Yes, I was just wondering where that dreadful building was with the dragon's tear on it. I want to stay away from it. I heard it was around here somewhere. Is it? Which direction is it in? No. I'm just asking for a direction.
A direction away from it.
Correct!
Yeah, only because you got a 20. If you got a natural 19 for like a 26 or whatever insanity you have, only because it's a nat 20 am I not... You say, I'm just looking...
In which direction is it?
I want to stay away... No, you don't want to ask that question, Martin. I'm helping you out here. This is an insane...
Thank you.
This is an insane thing. You want to distract people away from the direction of the building.
That
and
you're
where is that terrible
referencing.
building? I want you to know how nuts that is. So hold on.
Theoretically, it went
Hold on.
better.
Because it's a 20, and because I'm feeling very generous, and because we have to wrap this up, and I don't want to call more guards, you say, where's that dreadful building? And you see them start to turn around, and you go, I want to go the other way.
That's exactly what I did. That's
And
great.
they turn back around and go, well, if you want to go the other way, that's actually in this direction. Because it's right behind us where we were about to turn around.
Thank goodness. Let's.
You have a brief moment where all of like the swarm of voices that swirl around actually do get overwhelmed by your own psyche going, stupid!
I desperately need to rethink my strategy. I hope Dirk didn't see that.
Dirk did not see that.
Still looking.
Just Clint Eastwood squinting. With a 23, you take out your lockpicks and realize that I did not describe a lock. I said they put a bar across the bar.
Absolutely.
I pick up the bar.
You pick up the bar and you pick the lock perfectly, and
There
the
you
door opens up. You're able to get in.
I'm just gonna like make eye contact with everybody.
Nice. Hurry. Well, we're not getting
Slip
paged. We're just
inside.
slipping inside, closing the door.
Yeah. Amazing. Do you
Do
want
I
us to
see-
walk you down the way that is far away from there?
Just knowing where it is, I'm going to make my way. Yes, sure. Let's go.
yeah, you can't turn around now.
Just gonna go. I'm on a walk. I'm gonna commit.
Where are you from? I love your accent.
Oh, I'm actually from a village just south of here. I'm looking for an inn. I forget the name of it. I just know it's not that one.
Oh God, what are we talking? Are we talking about the Miner's Rest? Are we talking about the Furtive Frog? I hear
The frog one, yes, the
Yeah,
frog.
that's this one with the frog sign.
Oh, fantastic! There's the frog. Yes,
Incredible.
perfect. Thank you so much.
No problem. We're going to go home now, but it was so nice meeting you.
It was a pleasure meeting you. What were your names?
Oh, our names?
Yes, your names.
Two people with names that we have?
Stev
And Stephanie.
My God.
and Bev.
Steve.
And Bev. Stev and Bev.
Christopher and Breetna.
I'm Annabelle. Have a good night.
Annabelle, lovely name. And you pretend like you're gonna walk into the Furtive Frog, and then when they walk around the corner, turn around, I guess.
I just walk back, yes.
Yeah. You see the doors open, and they're looking at you going, What took you so?
All is safe. We're good.
Yeah, we've been good for like 5 minutes.
Yeah,
Where
no,
were you?
No. There were two people who actually might have attempted to walk this way had things gone differently.
Oh.
And
Did you kill them? You took a very long time.
no, I diverted their attention, and they're walking
Annabelle, we saw that you didn't go in the
From around the corner. Slam the door. You guys are in this dark space. There's no light.
Yeah.
No one's in here.
You know the drill.
Perfect. Follow me.
What's the drill?
You light the torch!
No, you
Not
light the
in here.
torch, they see the light through the windows.
Thank you, Tal. Everybody just follow me.
What you two see is a decrepit-looking by darkness. Actually, you know what? It's less decrepit than you had seen because it is the only thing that poor John had time for was upkeep. It looks like it's in very good condition, but in your experience, an inn in this good condition is a bad sign because that means no one's actually living in it.
There's no stickiness on the floors. All the tables have all the things underneath them.
Yeah, there's you could see behind the bar there is casks of ale that are still tapped, or untapped rather, and stairs leading up to rooms.
All right. Let's only light up any light when we get in rooms. Come.
So Tal's gonna kind of like rock back and forth on her toes and heels and kind of stare at the ceiling and be like, so for those people who have any sort of knowledge about channeling whatsoever, maybe we can do something to see about a curse in this building. I don't know how to channel, but if there are people here who know how to channel,
Who are you talking to?
people who know how to channel.
It's been closed. There's no one here.
What's closed?
Um,
You, Paige! I'm talking to you!
What? What are you talking about?
The place is cursed.
Then how? First of all, did you guys actually curse this place?
How would I curse
Yeah.
this place?
I don't know. I can't see you, Dirk, but I'm going to look in your direction. Was anything happening?
No, this place has been cursed for months. She said, whisperingly.
Perfect. All right. I did not know any of this. All I saw was a man bleeding from the eyeball and then him pointing to you guys.
In all honesty, that was supposed to be you.
The place has been cursed for months, he said.
What
just
did...
lets it go.
Really? Okay. So we're here investigating the curse. Is that what we're doing?
We're literally just sleeping here. I paid a gold for these rooms.
And also investigating the curse.
Are we doing...
To help him.
If you could sniff around, Paige, and figure out what the heck this curse is, that would be...
I'm glad
Nice.
we've set our objectives. How about we check the rooms? But I can't see anything. How will we put on a light? Is there a torch anywhere?
Let's get to our rooms first.
Let's get to rooms that don't have a window.
Or window to the back alley.
People are in the back alley.
There's a lot of refugees. All right, no windows.
What about little torches? Or like the lanterns with the boards on them?
Cover the
Lead us up.
windows.
Oh, yeah.
Perhaps we don't mention the channeling. Yes?
Yeah, and I think, point of order, I think you guys assume that looking in the dark is a Lior thing.
Oh, okay.
I think you guys assume that.
I assumed it was both
Lead
of
us
them.
up.
Okay.
I don't think you have any reason to assume that right now.
Oh, there was that time that Dirk really poorly fondled me and then found his way over
Right,
to the
'cause I
bed.
couldn't
Yeah,
see you
he
in the
rolled a
darkness.
sick performance check for falling.
Oh, he did?
Oh,
Yeah,
I thought
he
it was
did.
a really bad one. Okay,
No,
no.
no.
Oh, you're right. It was
Yeah,
really
no,
good. Yeah,
I don't
that
think
was.
you
like a
guys.
hand
I
that I
don't think
messed
you
up.
guys have any reason to.
You're right. I felt genuinely gross.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. To believe that Dirk can see in the dark.
Wasn't it Dirk who was leading us in the cave when we came across the bear and the stone?
I was in the back.
There wasn't a lot of leading going on there.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay, so
Certainly, we can go up, but let's keep it cool. We don't know who could be listening.
In a deserted inn that we just had to break into?
Look, we're in a very, very busy city right now.
Okay.
Look, this inn doesn't even share the dragon's name, and it got the fang painted on it.
It's a creaky building.
Upstairs.
Yeah, it sounded like it was coming from upstairs.
Got the heebie-jeebies.
All right, follow me.
Where are you? We'll just reach for his hand and just follow.
Just gonna,
Yeah, like-
towel on one
Hang on to the
hand.
back of his shirt.
Dirk's absolutely in the back, just like the biggest grin. I'm having the time of my life. Like, I'm so excited for people to get scared. I'm so excited.
Terrifying.
A spooky ghost costume goes, enter if you dare.
Did I hear channelers?
You guys walk upstairs and you find a couple of rooms that are modestly but well furnished. It doesn't seem like there are any beds that are quite large enough for you, Lior. Maybe if you like dragged a couple together. But you're able to relate to everybody, and you're able to see that there are some normal looking rooms here. It looks like maybe the creaking was one door that the hinges are a little bit just like, loose-ish, and so it's kind of back and forth. There's an open window.
Gonna close the open window,
Absolutely.
and well,
Are there any rooms with no windows?
No.
They all have windows?
Yeah, all the rooms have windows.
are there any
It's not a huge building.
hooded lanterns or anything like that?
Make me an investigation check if you don't mind.
Sure. That is a 10.
Yeah, you don't find any hooded lanterns, but there's shutters for the windows, so
Yeah,
you can
exactly.
you can block some stuff out.
So I'll even put like I'll take a bed from or a bed sheet from a different one and put it the mattress up
Yeah.
against the wall.
Yeah.
Who's moving?
We're just, Dirk is putting something up against the window. You said that you didn't want any windows.
Yeah, how can you see?
For point of order, you guys can see by the light of the windows now.
God.
Like you're.
In that case, I wouldn't have made that statement.
Yeah. That's exactly.
Like,
right.
hey, Dirk, let me
Like,
help you.
If Dirk's putting something to cover a window, you
Yeah.
can all see
Cool.
the window that he's covering. Yeah.
All right, then. Well, this was quite a day. I'm beat.
Are we going to sleep?
If you can.
Oh, the Dark One and his allies are held in prison in Sheol. This is somehow worse than the forest, but this is what we have chosen.
You want it to be warm, Paige, right?
That's not what I said.
Okay, sorry.
Just staring at Dirk in the darkness, like,
you guys done
why
yelling at
did
each
he
other?
say that?
You guys set up for the night, and are you staying in separate rooms or what are you doing?
No, I think we're all kind of staying in the same
Yeah,
place.
you find the master suite that you can all fit in.
Oh, yeah.
We brought in a couple extra beds for him.
Yeah. You can 100% drag in some mattresses and stuff like that. But it's quite comfortable. It's a very pleasant night's sleep. It's once you get over sort of like the cursed element, I think especially for you guys, you had one night in an inn that was promised that never came true because he kind of had to skip town in Samara, but you're finally snuggling up and getting cozy. It's warm. The building is well insulated.
Should we be taking watch if this building is cursed?
Yes.
So,
I'll take first watch.
all right. Would you like to take second and I'll take third?
Let's switch it. No, I'll go second, you go third.
No. Yes. Perfect. Okay. Great idea.
And you guys set up for an evening of sleep.
When I go to wake up Lior... Sorry, I'm not sure if I skipped through my...
You 100% did.
Yes, I will wait for my watch then.
You guys lie down and begin to settle in as you post up. You're taking first watch, correct? And are settling in and thinking, no, this wasn't such a bad idea, get away from people, keep low profile. And then you hear, maybe some of you think it's just Lior shifting over at first because, good God, what a sound, as Lior rolls over. But then you hear very distinctly beneath you, like footsteps on a wooden floor. And then you think the sound has stopped, banging on the floor of your room. And that's where we're going to end for tonight. Cause it's...
It is cursed! I'm so happy!
We're like way over time. And this was a curveball.
I have the alert feat, so I cannot be surprised while conscious.
Okay.
Just as a note.
Well, conscious.
Everybody else is surprised by that, but not
I mean,
you.
everyone heard the footsteps and was aware
Yes.
of it.
Yes.
Uh,
I'm just a
You're
note.
not surprised.
I'm gonna go
You're
ahead.
just scared.
I'm gonna
like
go
you're
ahead and
terrified.
rule that something banging on a floor underneath you is maybe not the surprise condition, but is surprising to everyone.
That's right.
Fair.
It's just banging. Tal is like, I knew that.
I knew it was coming. I could
Everyone-
sense it.
Everyone screams. Tal's the one in the haunted house going,
Yup.
lame.
I was cursed.
Great, awesome. Well, thank you guys. Finally made it to Jehannah. Figured out a little bit more about what Lior is up to. Sort of got a sense of what is the state of the city. Delved a lot more into Juice and a cursed tavern owner than I expected. But hey, that's how the world works, baby. Thank you for tuning in and watching along. Our next episode will come out next Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Until then, I've been Brad, and we have been a very, very weird vibe tonight. Weird vibe.
Yeah.
And catch us next week on Who's Taking Watch? The Dragon's Might. Bye-bye.
I'm Dirk.